the Persian sector. A small speck of space in the grand universe that is no stranger to pirates, smugglers, and other petty criminals. Most of these criminals are not even a real threat, but one group of outlaws doesn't fit into the same box, building their reputation of wealth, influence, fear, and a dose of electronic dance music. The Starlight Cabal are one of the most enigmatic factions in the sector. They're introduced as part of the Underworld mod, and unlike other factions, don't rule planets, don't wage open wars of conquest, and they don't really seek recognition as a legitimate power. Instead, they thrive in the shadows of the sector, usually shadows cast by their own disco lights, embedding themselves within the prosperous worlds of Tritachyon, quietly building an empire through black markets, extortion, and exclusive access to cutting-edge technology. Unlike the usual ramshackle pirate factions scattered across the sector, the Cabal are exceptionally well funded. Their ships are sleek, advanced, and heavily modified tech, often Tritachyon designs, albeit slightly worse in combat due to their preference for dance floors and lavish cocktail lounges. Every Cabal fleet projects an image of extravagance and luxury, reinforcing the idea that the Cabal are happily profiting off the collapse of civilization. Throughout this video, we will explore who the Starlight Cabal really are, examine their unique ships, weapons, and wings, and take a look at some examples of fleet setups that I have found worked for me best. We'll also uncover how they fit into the wider lore of the sector and discover why so many captains learn to dread seeing pink contacts on their sensors and have nightmares of bouncing electronic dance music. So, in these new mod deep dives, I'm going to try something a little different. We're still going to be looking at weapons, wings, and ships, but in a more fleet-oriented view, focusing more on how their ships complement each other and less on raw stats and tier list. Let me know what you think about this. Do you prefer this, or does a tier list tickle your pickle? With these, please bear in mind that the way I play Starsector obviously has an effect on how effective these ships, weapons, and wings are, so this is just my opinion on how best to put a fleet together. There may be something I've missed, so please let me know. First off, we have a small Wolfpack or early game fleet. For the early game, I went for a fleet of 2 Medusa, 5 Wolf, 2 Tempest, and 1 Afflictor. The combined manoeuvrability and firepower of this small Wolfpack is, in my opinion, unmatched. Sporting all different colours of lasers, yes Cabal, you can thank me later, some heavy hitting missiles, Terminator drones, blasters, and a bunch of ion weaponry for disabling. While yes, the Cabal does have reduced shield compared to the Tritat counterpart, they do have increased armour, an assortment of different weapon mounts, and the ability to build in one more hull mod, creating some very powerful ships. For this example, let's take a look at the Afflictor. The Afflictor, very similar to its Tritat counterpart, has slightly more armour, a central synergy hardpoint instead of an energy hardpoint, and this gives you a little more flexibility with your setup, as now you can run turreted missiles if you'd like to. I opted to keep an antimatter blaster here though, as it does some serious work. I've built in expanded missile rack to give the ship some more reapers, heavy armour to help with ordnance points, and auxiliary thrusters for the speed and manoeuvrability. If you want to change one thing, I'd recommend changing auxiliary thrusters to your desired built-in mod. With this small Wolfpack, there are no Cabal unique weapons or wings to talk of, so we'll move on to the mid-game. For this, I chose the Cabal Carrier Swarm style, as it punches well above its weight. For this mid-game fleet, I went for a fleet of 7 Eos, 2 Medusa, 5 Wolf, 2 Tempest, and 1 Afflictor. Now you may be wondering, hey, that sounds familiar. Well yes it is. This is the small-scale fleet with 7 Eos added to it. We keep all of the utility and the pressure that the Wolfpack provides, but we scale it up by adding 1 Squall MLRS, 2 Harpoon launchers, and 4 Wings of Fighters per Eos. Compared to the modded Tritachyon Eos variant, the Cabal Eos changes the medium synergy slot to a large synergy slot, giving it the capability to provide a lot more pressure and support on the battlefield. Whether you run with a Pelham Catapult, Squalls, Locusts, whatever, the large synergy slot is going to give you a huge advantage. While still suffering from the usual Cabal issues, this Eos is still best off with a bolstered shield tank, utilising the field modulation skill on your captain and hardened shields hull mod built in. Combine this with the expanded deck crew and expanded missile racks hull mods, and you have yourself a deadly, fast carrier capable of taking on medium to large remnant ordo fleets. Lastly, let's have a look at the late game capital fleet. Okay, so you're probably starting to see a pattern right here. You're wondering, did you actually try any of the other ships? Well, yes, I did, and I wasn't as much of a fan. So here we have all of the previous ships that I previously used, but with one unique Cabal carrier, the Euphoria. The Euphoria is a powerhouse. It has an extremely solid shield tank and 6 fighter bays, similar so far to the Astral. However, the Cabal have given the Euphoria 2 extra medium missile hardpoints, swapped out a medium energy turret for a large energy turret, they've given it 20 more deployment points, and swapped out the fighter recall system for a disco ball? The disco ball is a small drone that can be deployed permanently during fights. The drone has 6 tachyon lances, more than you can fit on a standard Paragon, and as you can imagine, this absolutely slaps. The main tactics behind this fleet remain the same. Pressure with long-range missiles and fighters, enough that the hostile ships begin to retreat and struggle with capacitors. Then, bombers swoop in and deliver killing blows, except now you have a capital carrier with 6 tachyon lancers to secure a more decisive victory. For the other ships that I've not shown, let's just do a quick rundown. First off, the Palace. Part of the Gala Parade fleet, the Palace is a multi-section ship designed to pump out dance music using its hyperwave amplifier and also endlessly dish out damage with its never-ending fighter replacement rate and missile autoforge. Next, the Succubus, a mainline Cabal light battleship that fits very well into a support role, a healthy mix of large synergy slots and medium energy slots for long-range protection. Next, we have the Odyssey. The Cabal Odyssey is a slightly worse variant of the Tritachyon version, but the Cabal variant replaces the Odyssey missile hardpoints with Universal. Next, the Aurora. Similar story to the Odyssey here, just a slightly worse variant with Universal hardpoints at the front of the ship. Next, the Fury. Again, a similar story, except the medium energy hardpoint at the front becomes hybrid, giving the Fury the potential to have some serious anti-shield firepower. Next, the Doom. Missile slots at the front become universal, and the Cabal upgrades give the Doom slightly better armour. Next up, the Climax. An Apogee remodel with more synergy slots, universal slots, and slightly more ordnance points. After that we have the Starscream, a huge upgrade to the Starliner with advanced ground support and a fighter bay. Not great in combat, but it certainly can hold its own in a fight. Then we have the Harbinger. The Cabal Harbinger swaps out one medium energy slot for a large energy slot, for a huge potential damage increase. And finally, we have the Shrike. The Cabal Shrike has a medium universal slot instead of its usual energy slot. So you think the Cabal are just another pirate gang? Well, that's where you'd be wrong. Business is conducted differently in the Cabal. Think more like the Mafia. Every deal has a price, every favour a debt, and generally, every refusal comes with a consequence. Traders, merchants, and spacers that comply and work with the Cabal are rewarded with access to profitable black markets and exclusive opportunities. But it's safe to say that if you don't comply with the Cabal, all of a sudden accidents seem to occur at a more alarming rate. Your cargo disappears, your docking connector breaks, maybe your standard trade route is a lot busier than usual. Violence for the Cabal is rarely the first option, but it is always an option. Unless of course you understand the colourful vocabulary required to be considered cool to the Cabal, then they might just let you go because they like you. The Underworld mod does a great job of avoiding spelling out every detail of the Cabal, adding to their mystique, allowing you to build rumour and ideas about them as you play. In the sector, whispers speak of protection rackets that rival legit governments, corrupt officials paid to look the other way, and fortunes built upon exploitation, rather than good, honest trade. If you want to see proof of the Cabal's moral ambiguity, look no further than their reputation with Tritachyon. They thrive within the high-tech space, taking advantage of the prosperity Tritachyon has to offer, while remaining officially deniable. What we have to ask ourselves is, do certain corporate execs benefit from the Cabal's activities, or do they just genuinely fail to stop them? This is left unanswered, but the fact they still operate so well suggests that someone, somewhere, finds them useful. So when you look at the Cabal and you see the luxury ships kitted out with newest technology, adorned with dance floors, disco lights, and parties with the higher echelons of society, Remember that this is an organisation built on intimidation, greed, and unadulterated ruthlessness. This has been a Starsector mod deep dive. In an ever-expanding universe, everyone has their own story to tell, and we're here to hear them all. Thank you everyone for watching. Apologies it's taken me so long to get this going. Life has been super busy recently, and it's getting in the way of all my Starsector. I've tried a few new things here compared to my old deep dive videos, and I hope they're welcome changes, and of course I'm open to constructive criticism and discussion. A huge thank you to Dark Revenant for the Underworld mod. It's fantastic and there's far more to it than just the Starlight Cabal. I'll leave a link to the mod page in the description. If you'd like to see me stream live, you can catch me on YouTube and Twitch Mondays, Tuesdays and Thursdays every week from 7 PM UK till 10 PM UK. I hope you've all enjoyed this Starlight Cabal deep dive and would appreciate you liking the video, subscribing if you haven't already, and dropping me a comment to let me know your thoughts. Thanks again everyone, and I'll catch you on the next one.